Hello, my name's Heath Thompson. I just want to take a minute and just share something that God did in my life. So I always grew up in the church, but then when I was 18, something happened that brought me to, I went from believing in God to knowing God exists. So when I was 18, I had bad breathing problems. I was sick with chronic asthmatic bronchitis. I was at a friend's house and I had my dad on the way to get me because I knew my breathing was a problem. I knew I had to go to the hospital. Right after that, I laid down on the bed and I quit breathing. When I quit breathing, I went outside my body and I was above my body looking down, and I could see the person I was with. At this time, they had started crying. But they were grabbing their hair like this, and I was holding my hand down because I knew I was on my way to heaven, and I didn't understand why they weren't coming with me. So then at that point, I saw a bright like light. Then I saw parts of my life flash, and then I heard the Lord speak. And when he spoke, he said, "No, Heath, I'm the only way. And so that you know this is true, you won't be able to speak until you leave this house." So at that time I had woke up, and the person that was with me is the mother of my child. And she had jumped on top of me. She was just kind of hugging me, crying. And I woke up, but I couldn't say nothing. So I just tapped her on the back. And when I tapped her on the back, she jumped up like, "What was that? What was that?" So from that point, I couldn't speak. Like, I couldn't say nothing to her. I was like, I couldn't speak. Her mom tried to talk to me. I couldn't say nothing to her mom. I got outside into the car with my dad and told him the full story. I was able to speak. So from that moment, I went from believing to knowing God's real. But sharing that kind of experience in the denomination I was in, it just kind of caught a lot of flack. So I really went through a period of just kind of confusion, wondering, like, why did God do that to me? I know I'm not special. I know I'm not more loved. So what was that about? I was really confused by it. So for 20-something years, I pursued God and the Lord, but not knowing that the supernatural was real and for today the way it is. So I'd say about a year ago was when God really started laying it on my heart that the gifts of the Spirit and everything else is real and it's for today. And then he started introducing me to people that do have supernatural experiences. So for me, one of the amazing things about it, looking back now that God uses me to do things, now that he gives me words for people, now that I've seen people healed and all that, one of the things that really sticks out to me is the power of belief and the power of thought. So for 20 years, because people had told me that experience wasn't true, what happened is I didn't see it. Since I sided my beliefs and my thoughts with that lie, for 20 years, I didn't see any of the supernatural. I didn't see healings. I didn't see prophecy. I didn't see anything happen. As soon as God changed my heart, and then I realized it was real, I started seeing healings. I started seeing prophecy. So I'd say for me, and all that started with a pursuit to hear his voice. Once I started hearing his voice, then everything else changed, because I didn't realize, I was kind of taught that God, spoke, and basically quit speaking after he wrote a book, 2,000 years ago. So I started pursuing hearing his voice, and that just opened up an entire new world of the supernatural.